"Save me," begged the Apache girl hanging from the tree. The cowboy saved her. For a price, the red dust storm had been loud all morning, rolling across the empty land like a giant animal that never got tired. On this world, storms could peel paint from a house and grind metal into powder. Most people stayed inside when the sky turned that color. But one man was out there anyway. His name was Cole Ryder. Folks in the frontier towns called him a cowboy, but he was more than that. He was a range guide, a tracker, and sometimes a problem solver when trouble grew bigger than the local law could handle. He rode a steel horse named Bramble, built from tough alloy and powered by a quiet-core engine. Bramble's hooves did not need water, and his joints did not freeze at night. He was made for worlds like this. Cole kept his hat low and his scarf up as he moved through the storm. He had a long coat with dust filters sewn into the collar. His eyes scanned the land through tinted goggles. The desert was a wide, broken sea of rock and sand, and far away the mountains looked like dark teeth. He was heading to a small settlement called Drywater Ridge. It was not much. A few metal shacks, a water tower, and a landing pad for old cargo ships. Cole was taking a delivery, a pack of repair parts and a sealed box of medicine. The pay was not huge, but enough to keep him moving. Cole preferred to keep moving. On this frontier, staying in one place too long meant people started asking questions, and questions led to stories, and stories led to trouble. Bramble slowed when the land changed. The flat desert gave way to a thin stretch of ironwood trees, twisted and dark. Most plants on this planet were hard and stubborn like the people. Ironwood was one of the few that could survive the storms. Its bark was thick like armor, and its branches grew in strange angles. Cole did not like this part of the route. The trees made it easier for ambush, and the ground held tracks longer. If someone was hunting, they liked places like this. He guided Bramble in a careful line, watching for movement. His hand rested near the holster at his side. The weapon inside looked like an old revolver, but it held smart rounds and could fire silent shots if needed. Cole did not enjoy fighting, but he also did not fear it. A sudden sound cut through the storm. It was not metal scraping or tree limbs snapping. It was a voice. "Help, please." Cole pulled Bramble to a stop. The voice was weak but real. It came again, breaking through the wind. "Save me." Cole turned his head, listening. The storm made it hard to hear direction, but the sound seemed to come from deeper in the ironwood grove. He hesitated. A person in trouble could be a trap. This world was full of people who smiled while they held a knife behind their back. Cole had learned that lesson more than once, but the voice sounded tired, not acting, not strong enough for games. Cole clicked his tongue and Bramble stepped forward. They moved between the trees until the storm grew a little quieter under the branches. Then he saw her. A girl hung from a high branch, but not by rope. A pale blue field wrapped around her wrists and ankles, holding her in place. It was an anti-gravity restraint used by bounty hunters and smugglers. The field kept her off the ground, floating just enough to make escape impossible. Her head was bowed. Her dark hair was tangled with dust and leaves. Her clothes were torn and her boots were missing. But even in that condition, something about her looked proud, like she refused to let fear own her. Cole moved closer, careful and slow. She lifted her head, eyes wide at first, then sharp when she focused on him. Her gaze was not helpless. It was cautious, like she was judging him the way he was judging her. "You're real," she said, voice rough. "I'm real," Cole answered. "Don't move." "I can't," she said, and there was a bitter edge in her tone. Cole studied the restraint field. The projector was attached to the branch above her. Small, simple, cheap. Whoever put it there did not expect to keep her long, only long enough for her to stop running. Cole also saw the ground beneath her, scorched patches, broken brush, and pieces of a small drone smashed like someone had hit it with a rock. There had been a fight here. Cole looked around. No movement, no footsteps close by, but the storm-covered sound and tracks. "What's your name?" he asked. She hesitated, then said, "Naya." Cole did not know if it was her true name. Out here, names were power. People did not give them away easily. "Who did this?" Cole asked. "Men in armor," Naya said. "They said they were collecting what is owed." Cole glanced at her wrists. The field did not cut skin, but it burned slowly if left too long. Her arms trembled with exhaustion. Cole reached into his saddle bag and pulled out a small tool kit. He stepped under the branch and scanned the projector. The lock was a basic frequency system. Not hard, but fast work mattered. "Please," Naya said, and her voice broke for the first time. Cole kept his eyes on the device. I'm working. He twisted a dial, pressed two wires together, and the projector flickered. The blue field shivered and faded. Naya dropped the last few inches and hit the ground on her knees. She made a small sound, half pain and half relief. Cole grabbed her arm before she fell forward and helped her sit against the tree trunk. For a moment she just breathed, eyes closed. Then she opened them and looked at him again. Why? She asked. Cole put his toolkit away. Because leaving someone like that isn't my way. Naya's eyes narrowed. No one helps for nothing. Cole met her stare. You're right. The storm outside the grove howled again and dust swirled through the branches. Cole stood and looked deeper into the trees. We don't have time for long talk. Whoever left you here might come back. Naya struggled to stand. Her legs shook, but she pushed herself upright. Pride again, strong even when weak, Cole took one step closer. Here's the deal, he said. I can get you out of this grove. I can keep you alive until we reach a safer road. Naya watched him, waiting. But I don't work for free, Cole continued. You're in trouble big enough that someone used a restraint field. That means they either want you alive or they want what you know. Naya's jaw tightened. Cole nodded once. So you tell me what's going on, not every secret. Just enough for me to understand what I'm stepping into. Naya looked away toward the storm. If I tell you, you'll become a target too. Cole's voice stayed calm. I might already be. For a few seconds, neither spoke. The wind moved the branches above them, making the ironwood creak like old doors. Finally, Naya said, My people live in the canyon lands. We protect places that outsiders should not touch. Cole's eyes stayed on her. Why? Because under our land, she said, there is old power, not from Earth, not from any ship. It was here before humans arrived. Cole felt a slow chill, even in the dusty heat. He had heard stories, everyone on the frontier had. Tales of alien ruins buried in the ground, machines that still worked after centuries, and lights that moved under the sand at night. Most of it was just talk, but Naya did not sound like she was telling a campfire story. The settlers want it, she continued. A company called Heliodyne. They sent men with armor and scanning drones. They offered deals, then they offered threats. Cole had heard of Heliodyne too, a big name, too big for small frontier folk to fight. Naya's voice grew stronger as she spoke, like anger was giving her energy. They captured some of our people. They demanded maps and coordinates. I refused. I ran. Cole asked, and they caught you. Naya nodded. They almost did. I damaged one of their drones. I thought I lost them, but their riders were faster. Cole glanced again at the broken drone parts. That fit. Then Bramble made a soft warning sound, a low mechanical hum that meant movement nearby. Cole's posture changed instantly. His hand moved toward his weapon. His eyes scanned the trees. Naya heard it too. Her face went pale. They're here, she whispered. Cole listened. Through the storm and the creaking wood, he caught it, a distant engine whine, steady and controlled, not the wild sound of a storm, a hover bike or a patrol crawler. They were not alone anymore. Cole looked at Naya. Can you ride? Naya swallowed. I can try. Cole stepped to Bramble and pulled down a small fold-out seat behind the saddle. Get up, hold tight. Naya climbed with effort. Cole saw how she tried to hide her pain, but her hands shook. Still, she managed to sit. Cole swung into the saddle. If you fall, you get back up, he said. Naya's voice was tight. And your price? Cole glanced back at her. Your truth, keep talking when we're moving. If you lie, I leave. Naya nodded once. Fair. The engine sound grew louder. Cole clicked his tongue, and Bramble launched forward, weaving between ironwood trunks. Dust exploded behind them. The storm swallowed their trail quickly, but the hunters would still follow if they had trackers. As they broke out of the grove, the open desert stretched ahead, wild and empty. The canyon lands were far, and the storm would not last forever. Behind them, a faint light cut through the dust. A search beam, fast, Naya clung to Cole's coat. They won't stop, she said. Cole kept his eyes forward. Then we don't stop either. And as Bramble ran into the red storm, the cowboy and the Apache girl vanished into the dust, chased by forces that wanted more than money. They wanted the hidden power beneath the land, and the girl who knew where it slept. The red storm followed them for miles. Bramble ran across the open desert with strong, steady strides. His metal hooves struck the ground in smooth rhythm, and dust rose behind them like smoke. Cole leaned forward slightly, guiding the mechanical horse toward a narrow stretch of rock formations ahead. Naya held onto the back of his coat. Her arms still felt weak, but fear gave her strength. She did not look back again. She already knew what was behind them. The search beam grew brighter through the storm. "They have scanners," Naya said, raising her voice over the wind. "Heat trackers, motion trackers," Cole nodded. "Most big companies do. You're not surprised? I've seen worse." He guided Bramble toward a split in the rocks. The entrance was narrow, almost hidden by broken stone. Bramble lowered his head and pushed through carefully. Inside, the wind became softer. The walls blocked most of the storm. Cole slowed the horse and listened. The engine sound outside passed by, then circled. The beam swept across the rocks but did not enter the narrow path. After a long moment, the sound moved farther away. Cole did not relax yet. "They'll search in patterns," he said. "We move deeper." The path twisted between tall canyon walls. The ground became uneven with sharp stones and old dry riverbeds. Bramble adjusted his balance automatically, built for this kind of land. After another mile, Cole finally stopped near a large overhang. It formed a natural shelter, safe from wind and open sky. He slid down from the saddle and turned to help Naya. She climbed down slowly. Her legs trembled when they touched the ground. Cole reached into his saddle bag and pulled out a small water flask. He handed it to her without a word. She hesitated, then drank, not too much, careful, like someone who had learned to survive on little. "You ride well for someone half-fainted," Cole said calmly. "I grew up riding," Naya answered. "Not machines like this, but animals." Cole gave a small nod. "Balance is balance," Naya studied him. "You speak like someone who doesn't belong to the towns." "I don't," he said simply. He began checking Bramble's side panels, making sure no tracker had attached during the escape. His movements were careful and practiced. Naya watched him for a moment, then said, "Heliodyne has camps set up near the southern ridge. They built towers with scanners. They say they are mining, but they are digging deeper than mining needs." Cole paused. "You saw this yourself?" "Yes. How close?" "Close enough." Cole closed the panel on Bramble's side. "And your people?" "They moved the elders and children deeper into the canyon lands. Only a few warriors remain near the outer edge." Cole looked at her directly now. "You're not just some girl who ran away." Naya met his gaze. "No." Silence stretched between them, but not uncomfortable, just careful. Cole pulled out a small device from his coat pocket. He activated it, and a faint blue map appeared in the air between them. The holographic image showed the desert, the canyon lands, and small blinking markers. "Heliodyne patrols," he said. "I track company signals when I travel, keeps me alive." Naya leaned closer to the map. "They're spreading." "Yes, they are searching for me." "Maybe," Cole said, "or maybe they think you'll lead them somewhere." Naya looked down. Cole studied her face. "You said there's old power under your land. What kind?" Naya hesitated. Then she spoke carefully. "There are chambers under the stone, not natural, smooth walls, lights that turn on when we enter, machines that hum even after all these years." Cole felt a quiet weight in his chest. "And your people use them?" he asked. "We protect them, we don't fully understand them. The elders say they were left by watchers who came before us." Cole had heard frontier legends about watchers, tall beings of light, machines that responded to thoughts instead of commands. Most folks called those stories foolish. But Cole had once seen something in the far north, a metal door half buried in sand that had no hinges and no rust. He pushed that memory away. "If Heliodyne gets control of that power," he said slowly, "they won't just mine it, they'll weaponize it." Naya's jaw tightened. "That is why I ran." Cole turned off the holographic map. "The canyon lands are still far," he said, "and they'll expect you to head there." Naya frowned. "It is the safest place." "It's the most obvious place," Cole corrected. She crossed her arms. "So what do you suggest?" Cole looked toward a narrow ravine branching off to the east. "We don't run straight home. We circle, confuse their trackers." Naya's eyes narrowed slightly. "You speak like a hunter." "Everyone on this world is hunted at some point," Cole said. They rested only a short time. When the storm began to weaken, Cole stood. "We move before visibility improves," he said. Naya nodded. They rode again, but this time deeper into broken land. Sharp cliffs rose on both sides. The ground shifted from red sand to dark stone. The air felt cooler. As they traveled, Naya spoke again. "You asked for my truth," she said. "Here it is. The chambers respond to me." Cole glanced back slightly. "Respond how?" "When I stand near the central structure, lights brighten, doors open faster. The elders say it is because of my bloodline." Cole was quiet for a moment. "So Heliodyne doesn't just want maps," he said. "They want you." "Yes." That explained the restraint field. They needed her alive. A sudden sharp beep came from Cole's wrist device. He cursed under his breath. "Tracker!" Nea's eyes widened. "On you?" "No." He slowed Bramble and scanned the air. The signal was faint but clear. Cole jumped down and walked around Nea slowly, scanning with the device. The signal grew stronger near her shoulder. He reached carefully toward the seam of her torn jacket. Hidden beneath the fabric was a small silver chip, no bigger than a coin. "They tagged you," he said. Nea's face went pale. "I didn't feel it." "They're good." He pulled a small blade and carefully removed the chip without touching its surface. He walked a few steps away and wedged it into a crack in the stone wall. Then he climbed back into the saddle. "We leave it there," he said. "Let them think you're still hiding in this ravine." Nea looked back at the stone. "They'll come here." "Yes, and find nothing," Cole nodded once. "That buys us time." They rode again, this time turning sharply west, away from the obvious path to the canyon lands. As the sun began to lower in the sky, the desert turned gold instead of red. Long shadows stretched across the rocks. Nea's voice grew softer. "Why are you helping me?" Cole did not answer right away. Finally he said, "Years ago I helped a company like Heliodyne. Thought they were just building settlements, bringing progress." Nea listened carefully. "I guided them through land that wasn't empty," Cole continued. "People lived there, quiet people, they trusted my word." His hands tightened slightly on the reins. "Things changed after the company arrived, not for the better." Nea understood without more words. "So this is your price?" she asked gently. "Guilt." Cole gave a faint, humorless smile. "Part of it. And the other part?" He looked ahead at the distant cliffs. "I'm tired of running from mistakes." Silence followed, but it felt different now, less cold. As darkness approached, they reached a high ridge. From there they could see far into the distance. Small lights blinked on the southern horizon. Heliodyne camps, large, organized. Powerful. Nea's breath caught. "They are closer than I thought." Cole studied the layout, "and they're building something." In the center of the camp stood a tall metal tower, half-constructed, glowing faintly with energy lines. "That's not just a scanner," Cole said quietly. "That's a signal amplifier." "For what?" Nea asked. Cole's voice grew serious. "If they tap into the old power under your land, that tower could broadcast it across the planet." Nea felt a chill that had nothing to do with wind. "They would control everything," she whispered. Cole nodded. "Which means we can't just hide." She turned to him. "What are you saying?" He looked at the camp again, then at the path toward the canyon lands. "I'm saying," Cole said slowly, "if we keep running, they'll catch up eventually." Nea's heart pounded. "Then what do we do?" Cole met her eyes, calm but firm. "We stop them before that tower goes live." The sun slipped below the horizon, leaving the land in deep purple shadow. Far below, Heliodyne's camp lights burned bright like a second city rising from the desert. And on the ridge above, the cowboy and the Apache girl watched in silence, knowing the fight was no longer just about escape. It was about the future of the entire frontier. Night covered the desert like a dark blanket, but the Heliodyne camp below burned with bright white lights. Machines moved back and forth. Tall cranes lifted metal beams. The half-built tower stood in the center, glowing faintly with blue lines of energy. Cole and Nea lay flat on the ridge, watching. "They're working through the night," Nea whispered. "They're in a hurry," Cole replied. Wind moved gently across the high ground. The storm had passed, leaving the sky clear and filled with cold stars. From this height, the camp looked organized and powerful. Guards walked in patterns. Drones hovered above like silent birds. Nea's hands tightened in the dust. "If that tower connects to the chambers under our land," Cole finished her thought, "they'll force the system to respond." Nea looked at him. "You believe me now?" Cole nodded once. "I've seen enough strange things on this planet." "I don't doubt you." He pulled out his wrist device and zoomed in on the camp. A layout appeared in the air between them. Power lines ran from generators to the tower. Supply trucks moved in and out. There was a main control tent near the base. "If we damage the tower now," Nea said, "they'll just rebuild." "Yes. If we attack openly, they'll follow us to the canyon lands." "Yes." Nea grew frustrated. "Then what choice do we have?" Cole stayed calm. "We don't attack the tower, we cut its eyes and ears first." She looked at the hovering drones. "The scanners. And the signal relays," Cole added. He studied the hills around the camp. "They have smaller relay stations placed on higher ground. That's how they boost their range." Nea followed his gaze. In the distance, she saw faint blinking lights on separate cliffs. If we disable those, she said slowly, their reach shrinks. Cole nodded. They'll still have guards and vehicles, but they won't see far. Naya breathed deeply. That gives my people time. Cole looked at her. You still want to reach the canyon lands? Yes. Even knowing they'll follow eventually, her voice grew stronger. The chambers are not only machines, they are part of who we are. We cannot abandon them. Cole respected that. He had spent years avoiding belonging to anything. But Naya carried her home in her voice. He stood carefully. We move now. First relay is to the west. They climbed down the ridge quietly and guided Bramble through shadows. Cole kept to low ground, using rock formations for cover. He moved like someone who had done this many times before. After an hour, they reached the base of a narrow cliff. At the top, a small metal pole blinked red. A relay station, simple but important. 2 guards stood near it, not bored, alert. Cole studied them. We don't fight unless we must, he said softly. Naya nodded. Cole removed a small round device from his saddle bag. Signal jammer, he explained. Short range. He handed Bramble's reins to Naya. Stay low. Cole moved along the base of the cliff until he found a shallow path upward. He climbed slowly, using the rock for cover. Naya watched from below, heart beating fast. At the top, Cole placed the jammer behind a stone near the relay pole. He activated it quietly. The red blinking light flickered once, then went dark. The guards looked at the pole, confused. One tapped his wrist device. The other looked around. Cole stayed hidden, calm, and patient. After a few moments, the guards began checking cables and panels. They were focused on the machine, not the land around them. Cole climbed back down without being seen. Naya released a slow breath when he returned. It worked. For now, Cole said. They'll fix it, but they'll waste time. They moved toward the second relay. This one was farther and placed near a dry riverbed. As they approached, Naya suddenly held up her hand. Wait! Cole stopped. She closed her eyes briefly, listening. What? He asked quietly. Movement, she said. Not machines. Cole scanned the area. From the shadows of the riverbed, 3 figures stepped out. They wore simple desert clothing, not Heliodyne armor. Their faces were marked with familiar patterns. Naya gasped softly. My people! One of the figures raised a hand in greeting. They met in the cover of a rock formation. The leader of the small group was an older woman with steady eyes. She looked at Naya first, relief clear in her expression. You live, the woman said. Yes, Naya answered, because of him. The woman turned her gaze to Cole. It was not warm but not hostile either, just measuring. You brought trouble, she said calmly. Cole did not deny it. Trouble was already coming. The woman studied him for a moment longer. I am Tala, she said. Cole, he replied. Naya spoke quickly. Heliodyne is building a tower. They are placing relays to expand their reach. Tala nodded. We have seen. There are more than before, Naya continued. They are preparing for something larger. Tala's eyes darkened slightly. The elders feared this. Cole spoke carefully. If the tower connects to the chambers, they might force activation. Tala looked at him sharply. You understand what lies beneath our land? Enough, Cole said. Enough to know it shouldn't fall into corporate hands. There was silence. Then Tala nodded once. Then we fight. Naya felt a mix of fear and strength rise inside her. How many warriors remain? Not enough for open battle, Tala answered, but enough for strategy. Cole looked at the second relay blinking above them. We're disabling their relays, slowing their vision. Tala's lips curved slightly. Good, we have already taken down one further south. Cole allowed himself a small smile. Then we're thinking the same way. Tala turned serious again. But that will not stop them forever. No, Cole agreed. It only buys time. Naya stepped forward. Time is what we need. The chambers respond to presence, to connection. Tala looked at her carefully. You feel it stronger now? Naya nodded. Yes. Cole listened closely. Tala turned to him. The system beneath our land is waking. Because of Heliodyne? Cole asked. Because of disturbance, Tala said. Because the balance is broken. A low rumble sounded in the distance. Everyone froze. The ground trembled slightly beneath their feet. Cole looked toward the canyon lands. Far away beyond the hills, a faint blue glow rose into the night sky. Not from the Heliodyne camp, from deeper in the land. Naya's breath caught. It's beginning. Tala's face grew solemn. The chambers are activating. Cole felt the air change. Like pressure building before lightning. If Heliodyne detects that surge, he said, they'll move fast. Tala nodded. Then we must reach the heart before they do. Naya turned to Cole. You said we stop running. He met her eyes. I did. Tala looked between them. The path to the inner canyon is hidden. Outsiders do not know it. Cole understood what that meant. Take me there, he said. Tala's gaze hardened. If you betray us, I won't, Cole replied firmly. There was no pride in his voice, only certainty. After a long moment, Tala nodded. They moved quickly through the dark terrain. Bramble followed silently behind. The second relay was left untouched. There was no more time. As they crossed into the outer edge of the canyon lands, the blue glow in the distance pulsed brighter. The air felt charged, almost alive. Nea felt warmth in her chest, like something calling her home. Behind them, in the far distance, heliodyne alarms began to echo faintly through the night. They had detected the energy surge. Cole looked back once at the distant camp lights, then forward at the rising glow ahead. This is where it changes, he said quietly. Nea nodded. They were no longer just escaping hunters. They were walking toward the awakening heart of something ancient. And whatever waited beneath the stone was no longer sleeping. The blue glow rising from the canyon lands grew brighter as Cole, Nea, and Tala moved deeper into the hidden path. The air felt different here. It was not just wind and dust. It felt alive, like the land itself was breathing. Behind them, distant alarms from the heliodyne camp echoed faintly across the desert. They had seen the surge of energy. They would not ignore it. We don't have much time, Cole said quietly. Tala led them through a narrow crack between two tall rock walls. From the outside, it looked like solid stone. But once inside, the path opened into a winding corridor carved by ancient water. Bramble followed carefully, metal hooves steady against the rock. After several minutes, the corridor widened into a hidden valley deep inside the canyon lands. Small fires burned in protected pits. Tents and low stone homes blended into the natural rock. Men and women stood watching the sky, where the blue light pulsed above a distant cliff. Nea stepped forward, her people saw her, and murmurs spread quickly. Relief, surprise, strength. An elder approached, leaning on a carved staff. His hair was silver, his face calm but serious. You returned, he said. Yes, Nea replied, and the danger has grown. The elder's eyes moved to Cole. This outsider walks with you, he said. He saved me, Nea answered firmly, and he stands with us. The elder studied Cole for a long moment. Cole did not speak, he did not bow, he simply stood steady. Finally, the elder nodded once. Then he walks with us tonight. The ground trembled again, stronger this time. A low hum filled the valley, almost like distant thunder. The heart chamber is opening, Tala said. The elder turned to Nea. It calls you. Nea felt it clearly now. A pull in her chest, steady and warm. Cole looked at her. You ready? She took a breath. I must be. They moved toward a cliff face at the far end of the valley. Symbols carved into the stone glowed faintly blue. As Nea stepped closer, the symbols brightened. The rock wall slowly split down the center without sound. Cole's eyes widened slightly, though he kept his calm expression. Inside, a smooth tunnel stretched downward. The walls were not natural stone. They were polished silver gray without cracks or seams. Lights along the floor turned on as they entered. The tunnel opened into a vast underground chamber. Cole stopped. In the center of the chamber stood a tall structure shaped like a crystal tower, glowing softly. Thin lines of light ran across the floor like rivers, connecting smaller pillars around the edges. It was ancient, but it was not dead. The hum grew louder as Nea stepped forward. The crystal tower brightened in response. It recognizes you, Cole said quietly. Nea reached out slowly. The air around her hand shimmered. Before she could touch the structure, a loud explosion echoed from above. Dust fell from the ceiling. Cole turned sharply. They're here. Another explosion, closer. Heliodyne forces had reached the outer valley. The elder's voice echoed through the chamber entrance. They bring machines. Cole looked at Nea. You focus on this, I'll handle them. You can't fight them alone, she said. I won't be alone, he replied calmly. He turned and ran back toward the tunnel entrance. Outside, heliodyne armored vehicles rolled into the hidden valley. Drones hovered overhead. Armed guards spread out quickly, scanning every direction. The half-built tower in their camp had detected the surge and traced it here. Cole climbed onto Bramble. Ready, he whispered. Bramble's core engine glowed softly in response. Cole rode forward to meet the first wave, not with reckless attack, but with strategy. He guided Bramble between rock pillars, forcing the vehicles to slow. He fired precise shots at drone sensors, not destroying them violently, but disabling their vision. Smoke devices exploded into thick clouds, blocking lines of sight. From hidden positions, Naya's people struck carefully at vehicle controls and power cables, then retreated into the rocks. Heliodyne had strength and technology, but they did not know this land. Inside the chamber, Naya stepped closer to the glowing crystal tower. The light pulsed faster now. She placed her hand against the surface. Warmth flowed through her, not painful but powerful. Images flashed in her mind, not words but feelings, protection, balance, defense. The system was not a weapon of conquest. It was a guardian system, designed to protect the land from destruction. Above ground, the fight grew louder. Heliodyne soldiers pushed toward the cliff entrance. Cole rode directly toward the largest armored vehicle. At the last second, he guided Bramble sharply to the side and tossed a magnetic pulse device onto the vehicle's rear panel. The device activated, sending a wave through the machine. The vehicle shut down instantly. Cole did not cheer. He moved on. A loud mechanical roar filled the valley. Heliodyne had deployed a heavy drilling unit toward the chamber entrance. They intended to force their way inside. Cole felt a moment of doubt. They were strong, organized, endless. Then the ground beneath everyone began to glow faint blue. The symbols carved into the cliff walls lit up. Inside the chamber, Naya's eyes shone with reflected light. "The system is responding," she whispered. She closed her eyes and focused. She did not ask it to destroy. She asked it to protect. Above ground, the earth shifted. Rock pillars rose from the ground between the drilling unit and the entrance. The machine's path was blocked. Energy barriers shimmered across narrow paths, separating Heliodyne forces from one another. Their communication devices began to fail as the Guardian system disrupted signals. Cole felt the change immediately. He looked at the glowing rock walls and understood. "It chose," he said softly. Heliodyne commanders shouted orders, but confusion spread quickly. Vehicles could not advance. Drones lost control and landed roughly in the dust. The blue light rose higher into the night sky. Inside the chamber, Naya remained steady, her hand against the crystal tower. The warmth did not burn her. It flowed through her, steady and calm. The Guardian system recognized her as part of the land. Not an owner, not a ruler, a protector. Outside, Heliodyne forces began retreating. Without control of their machines and without clear paths forward, their advantage faded. Cole rode forward one last time, stopping at the edge of the glowing barrier. He watched as the remaining vehicles turned and pulled back toward the open desert. They had not been destroyed. They had been denied. Silence slowly returned to the valley. The blue glow softened. Inside the chamber, Naya lowered her hand. The crystal tower dimmed to a gentle light. Cole walked back into the chamber, dust covering his coat. Naya turned toward him. "It listened," she said quietly. He nodded. "You didn't command it." "No," she replied. "I asked it." The elder stepped forward behind them. "The Guardians built it for balance," he said, "not for power." Cole looked around the vast chamber again. He had spent years running from places that needed him. Now he stood in one that welcomed him. Tala approached him slowly. "You fought for land that is not yours," she said. Cole answered calmly. "Land doesn't need to be owned to be protected." There was quiet approval in her eyes. Naya stepped closer to Cole. "You said your price was truth," she said. He gave a faint smile. "And I got it." She tilted her head slightly. "Is that all?" Cole looked at the glowing chamber, at the people who had chosen to stand together, and at the land that had answered a call for protection. "No," he said honestly. "I was also looking for a reason to stop riding alone." The elder nodded once. "Then perhaps you have found it." Above ground, dawn began to rise. Soft gold light touched the canyon walls. Heliodyne forces were gone from sight. Their tower in the desert stood unfinished and silent. For now, the land was safe. Cole stepped beside Naya at the chamber entrance and looked out over the valley. He did not know what tomorrow would bring. Heliodyne would not forget easily, but he also knew something had changed. He was no longer just a drifter crossing empty land. He had chosen to stand. And the land had answered. As the first sunlight filled the canyon, the Guardian system rested quietly beneath the stone, no longer sleeping but watchful. And for the first time in many years, Cole Ryder did not feel the need to ride away.